Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to our Gold Rush Mastermind. I am Tony Taylor, your host, and I'm so glad that you could join me on this Christmas Eve day. And we're just gathering very small group today, but a wonderful group as we're going to go over some different questions that people may have. We've had some wonderful past masterminds. If you'd like to review them in our Facebook group, Gold Rush Mastermind. And if you're not in the group, I will be happy to tag you and place you in there. And of course, we also have our Noble Goldman, and you can access the masterminds via there as well. But today, being that it's just a nice small group, I'd like to be able to answer some of the questions that seem to come up quite often. And it's really about learning about what kind of an investor you are in order to decide what type of gold and silver you should buy, because there's all kinds of options. So of course, in our 7K metals company, which was created over 5 years ago, this is an amazing membership that allows the average person to be able to access different types of silver and gold. But more than anything, it helps you to understand what kind of an investor you are. And that's what I found very valuable about it, was the education, because I didn't realize what type of investor I was. I just wanted to buy gold and silver, but I didn't know what kind either. And then when I did the education part of it, which is included in your membership, I went, oh my, I seem to be all five. And what do I mean by all five? Well, you invest in gold and silver for different reasons, okay? And the number one reason why most of the wealthy invest is to hedge against government collapse and poor economic situations. And of course, we have seen this around the world, that when governments do implode on themselves, and it's been very self-evident very recently in Venezuela, your dollar, here this thing, is worth nothing. And this is a very important thing to understand about what inflation is. And right now we're in an extraordinary time of massive inflation. And I just heard the numbers the other day, which I find very naughty just to say, this is just my humble opinion, that in the United States, they said it's at 6.8%. And in Canada, they said it was like 4.6, I believe, which if you do any kind of shopping at all, which I'm sure all of you do, that is not even close to the reality of some of the pricing that has gone through the roof. So I wanted to point that out, because right now what people don't understand is that your buying power with this dollar is all of about, I think about a nickel, maybe less now. And we've got that all in the Wealth Strategies book as well. So one of the reasons why, as I had mentioned, is that it's a defense. You want to buy gold and silver. When Edith had asked why would I want to buy gold and silver? Well, the number one reason is for hedging your bets against poor economics and poor government decisions. So the question comes down to, well, if I'm using it as a defense, then what kind of bullion or what kind of gold and silver do I want? Well, in the 7K metals, they show you that what you're looking for is actually bullion or rounds. And they go through the different types that there are, or bars. Okay, so it's really just something that you can have on hand right away and you can start bartering with, which is really important. And the other reason why what type of an investor are, you might want to be using it for wealth accumulation and wealth protection. These are other reasons why you would want to buy gold and silver. And of course, my favorite, wealth legacy, which is really super important, because what happens is that as we go through these different times in our lives, these different decades, one of the things that I had pointed out, or at least the company that I had learned, is that we had all made like a $1.2 million mistake. And I was kind of like, go on and say, what? Well, I know I've made a lot of mistakes, but this was kind of fascinating to me. Well, what happened is that this little beauty and this little beauty, okay, so this is my American Eagle. I also have a Canadian one, Edit.
Canadian Eagle?
Well, it's there. No, this is our Canadian 1 ounce coin. That's
Oh,
our
nice.
Canadian, that's our Canadian 1 ounce coin. And they're really funny because they're a little bit smaller than the silver eagle. So you can see that they're like, it kind of sits inside. It's kind of interesting. But they just feel good. Like when you're holding silver, it just feels really good. But I show you this because what happens is in 1965, this was worth $1. This was worth $1. And I'm not just talking about like the actual ounce was $1. You could buy an ounce of silver for $1, and it was also worth $1. So they were the same in 1965. Okay. But fast forward to today, this is worth a nickel, and this is worth $35. That's the disparity between the two. So now you need 35 of these babies, and still only one of these. Now, why do I share that with you? I share that with you because in 1965, if you had 2,500 silver dollars and 25 $1, you could buy yourself a Ford Mustang. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. But then think about it. If you fast forward, if you had 2,500 of these today, you could buy 2 Ford Mustangs, and you wouldn't even be able to buy the tires with the $2,500 with this. So that's the other reason why the wealthy banks and governments hold silver and gold, because silver and gold never devalue, ever. Not even the 5,000 years they've been using gold and silver. It's always held its value in its buying power. So this is why it is so important to hold silver and gold. But the other extraordinary thing that I learned is about, not only is that about wealth, accumulation unknowingly, but it's also wealth legacy, because the other thing that I learned was if you had bought one of these American Eagles in what they call in a numismatic form, which means they come in a case, which means that they were uncirculated, so never touched by human hands, basically. Okay, and they get graded, and they can learn all that in education as well. But if you had bought one of these every month from 1986 to now, so it would have cost you about 40,000 US dollars. So you would be disciplining yourself to buy silver every month. So one of these every month would be your discipline. Do you remember how grandma used to tell me? My grandmother used to tell me, oh, honey, you should really save, $50 every month or $100, right? Of course, we never do. And then when we do it, we go and spend it. But if you do it this way, chances are you'll probably save it. Okay, well, those numismatic coins, these silver American Eagles, 35 years later are worth $1.2 million. That's called wealth accumulation. And so this is why it's so important for people to understand how important it is to put a little bit of your wealth into silver and gold. Because as you look at history, as I mentioned before, anybody that had silver and gold, they survived extremely well moving through the economic difficulties. And of course, we've heard that. I mean, I used to hear that from my grandparents all the time as well, back in Europe. That was a big one. Same with our friend who was in the Soviet Union when it collapsed. Same thing. Anybody who had silver and gold, they had no problems. So you have to ask yourself, why is it that it's only the rich, okay, that collect gold and silver? And we think, oh, it's just them. At least this was me. I'm just speaking for myself. I'm thinking, oh, well, they can, kind of thing. But the fact is that they did it for a reason. And the reason is that gold and silver always holds its value. Does anybody know what the word fiat currency means? Does anybody know what fiat currency means? Anybody? Kasha, do you know what fiat means? Sorry, I saw your hand up. Sorry, honey.
Yeah, it's that dollar bill that you're holding there.
Yeah, that dollar bill. This is the fiat. This is what they call fiat currency. And in the world of money, we call this sound money. This is God's money. Okay. And God's money never goes out of style, nor does it go down in value. This fiat currency is forced. I don't know if you all know that. Did you know that? In Latin, it means currency circulating by force. I go, well, that's interesting, isn't it? It's not even considered money. It's just considered a currency. Whereas this is considered real money. And this is another reason why you want to collect it, because this is recognized all over the world and it never devalues. The other thing that people don't realize, that in America anyway, when you buy sovereign, actually anywhere actually I should say that, anywhere in the world, I'll get to the America only, anywhere in the world, if you buy what they call sovereign coins, these are sovereign coins that are minted strictly for the country. So this was Canada, this was America. You do not have to claim these in your taxes, nor is it reported. So these are never reportable because they belong to a sovereign nation, which is a very important thing to know. So when people ask me, what should I buy? You should have a different variety of silver and gold in your portfolio. So I have, for hedging, I call it hedging your bets against bad decision-making. I have like little bars, and I have little tiny grams, and I have bullion, and I have rounds that are not printed in a sovereign country. Okay. But then I also have this, okay, real sovereign nation coins that are not, that don't have to be claimed on your taxes. Okay. Don't have to be reported. And that's really for wealth accumulation and wealth protection. Okay. And then the other one for portfolio, and also too for portfolio diversification, it helps to diversify. And so if you really want to get into wealth legacy, I would suggest what I call the numismatic that I just touched upon. And in the 7K Metals membership, they have designed the most exquisite, extraordinary collections I've ever seen. It's really a work of art. And that's something that we're going to probably talk about next week, is the designs in the numismatic series that have been introduced by 7K that are now being collected all around the world. As you get into this world, one thing that I didn't know, that coin collecting was for the so-called really wealthy. It was kind of like a private club. And I love collecting because I collect pottery. So now I'm really intrigued to start learning about the different coins that they've created in the series, which is really extraordinary. And my collection, I've only been in it for about 3 months, and my collection has already gone up 10%. And I know that some people who've been in it in a year, they've already doubled. One of the series has already doubled in value. And another one, some of the coins, the individual coins, have tripled and quadrupled because they're so rare. How does a coin become rare? By the quality and the amount of mintage. This is very important, which again, you'll learn in the education section of the membership, which is just fantastic. I learned so much. It was so valuable. I was really, I was a little stubborn at first. I'll admit I was a little stubborn at first, going, oh, I just want to get my gold and silver, which I did. But then I realized that after I just made the decision, because Danielle, my good friend who introduced me to 7K, she says, Tony, you really need to jump in and look at the education. And so when I did, I went, wow, I really didn't know what I didn't know. And it's kind of like anything, right? So knowledge is power, which means knowledge is bankable, and it is definitely very bankable in this situation, getting your hands on gold and silver. And so it's just one of the things that we offer at 7K Metals. So I hope that's enough whys for you at it. But another big why that may really help too, if you are interested in gold and silver, it's very difficult to know who you can trust and the quality and to be able to access it. So in your membership, you're also getting an account, which is called Sound Money Wallet. And your Sound Money Wallet can allow you to buy just even fractional amounts of this coin for even $1. So even if all you had was $1, you can put it towards building towards your silver and gold. So we have no minimums and no maximums, which is also very unusual because it's very difficult to get your hands on some of this stuff. And 7K has has a good excellent access. And they also have a vault, which will allow you to hold your gold and silver if you choose for free, up to $25,000, which is also very important for a lot of people. I like to have mine on hand. So I have some here at the house because, again, hedging my bets. And then I also have some in their vault, being safe as well. So that's kind of my reason for doing it. But I can't recommend the education enough, because you really want to find out what kind of an investor you are, which is so important, as we know. And it's important to get disciplined. I wasn't disciplined enough. I've saved more money now in 3 months than I have in all my years. And that's part of the reason of being an entrepreneur, right? I don't know how many of you are entrepreneurs. I'm an entrepreneur, and I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I'm also a coach. But my husband and I have been entrepreneurs our whole life. And, it's just one of the things that you do, you have to invest in yourself. And this, to me, is investing in ourselves to learn more about understanding wealth strategies. And so I'm really pleased to be able to offer this to you and to answer any more questions you may have concerning it. Any more? Cash out? Thank you, Edith. Thank you for the heart. Cash, I see you have your head up. Sorry, honey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my head is up, but that was my hand up.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. I just wanted to mention that in Poland, they were talking about 8% inflation this year.
8?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually really, it sounds like a big number in the grand scheme of things, but I know that around the world, I think the number, as I mentioned, is a lot higher. Okay. Because I don't know if you all been shopping lately, which I'm sure you have, being that it's Christmas, but have you noticed, if you go to the grocery stores, that things are like, I can tell you they're a lot more than 4.6% in Canada. Did anybody else notice that? Our meat has, in some cases, tripled in prices here in BC. And I know in Oregon, because my girlfriend was just here, the prices are practically double. So I don't know how that is 6.8%. We got to be honest, right? And if you look at your electrical bills, your gas bills, right? Everything is way higher than they're saying. So this is another reason to be very leery of what you hear, because the reality is that we are living in a reality where those numbers don't, in my opinion, jive, but that's just me. Edit, please go.
It's 9:30.
9:30. My question is not my question. It's a question that Harrison sent me.
Okay.
Can I ask that?
Absolutely.
Okay. She's asking, if you find you have a prospect that does not want to join, but wants only to buy coins, can I purchase them? Can I purchase it for them? Or is it best that they join?
Well, that's an excellent question. I think that's kind of a personal question, really. I guess it depends what kind of a friend they are, really, doesn't it? Because remember, you still have to send it to them.
She said it's a prospect. It's not a.
Okay. I would find out specifically, I would find out what type of coins are they looking for, or like what type of silver and gold, as I had mentioned earlier. And then just answer any questions about their concerns. Like they may have other questions other than, because there's obviously something in the membership that they're not really seeing or understanding. So I would just dig a little bit deeper to ask a couple more questions. But I mean, really, as a member, it's really a personal decision to share, your wealth, right? And of course, you can buy as much silver and gold as you want to, right? You have access to it. And here's the other thing too, just an FYI, with your membership, here's the best way I would answer this. With your membership, you have a storefront. I don't know if anybody knows that, but your link has a dealer direct store pricing that when you hand that to somebody, their link, they can go in and buy different silver and gold directly. They don't have to be a member. I don't know if you knew that,
Okay.
Edith.
No, I didn't.
Okay,
So
so
I don't know if she did either.
okay, yeah. So everybody has what I call a storefront. It's like having your own Shopify account, basically, is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would share the link so that they can go buy. And the page, by the way, the pages are different for every country. So please know that. So what the person needs to do is that when they go to that link, they just need to push on their country. Because right now we're in 7 countries. We're in United States, obviously, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Ireland, and Singapore. So those are the 7 countries we're in, and they'll have all those flags across the top. Now, I mentioned this because I can show that. I mentioned it because each country has different things on their site.
Mhm.
Right? Because like in the United States, they can sell jewelry, but they can't sell jewelry anywhere else in the world because of the taxes. So depending on where this, it sounds like it might be a prospect that's in England. Maybe.
She is in England. I don't know where the prospect is. She didn't say that.
Okay. Well, let me just go show you. I'm going to have to, let me share my screen. Okay. Let me
She
share
has
my-
another question when you're ready for it.
Okay. Well, give me the question and then we can go look at the store.
Her other question is, how are you promoting the business? So I guess, how can she promote it?
How can she share? We
Yes.
do opportunity Zooms almost basically practically 5 days a week. So we actually have opportunity Zooms 5 days a week. And Mark and Danielle are also excellent about doing private Zooms as well. And so am I. So I'm also available to do the private Zooms for our Noble Goldman members. So if you have other people that can't make the times for the set opportunity Zooms, then we can also set up a private one for another time as well. And we can share the video and just get people's questions answered. Because this one right now, I bought a bunch of these books and I'm actually giving out these books now because it tells you the whole story about, you know, the journey of why we want gold and silver and how important it is to get it into your portfolio. So it really does an excellent job, these new wealth strategy books, and the new video does an excellent job going through it as well. I hope that helps, Hyacinth. Jan, welcome. Kim, do you have a question? I know this is your first time hearing all this. Is probably a little too much, but that's okay. I'm going to tag you in a video so it'll be a lot more clearer for you. Oh, excellent. Well, I'm glad you're still here. Thank you for hanging out with us today on this beautiful, beautiful snowy day here in Vancouver. Well, almost White Rock. Any other questions? Kasia, I see you have your hand up still.
I guess I forgot already.
Okay, I did see your question in the chat about the education. The education is when you go to sign in to your back office, underneath training, when you go to click on training, there will be a section in there that says the videos for the training, and it's right under there for certification. And there's 2 of them. There's a buyer certification, which is the one that teaches you about what kind of an investor you are and the different types of gold and silver you would purchase depending on those categories of where you've decided you are. And number 2, there's another certification called the collector's certification. This is where you learn about, you know, the collection series and what all the different gradings mean. That was something new to me. I didn't understand the gradings before because I used to go to a lot of auctions, a lot of antique auctions before, and I never really understood, well, why does that say M63? Why does that one say M67? Like I didn't understand it. But now I do, because it all has to do with the quality of the coin. So the top coin grade is M70, and those are all the ones that we receive in our Sound Money wallet with our numismatics, with the coin collection series. And we also have what we call high relief, which is really also extraordinary for the company as well. They're setting a whole new standard. They're really gorgeous. They absolutely are gorgeous. Any other questions? I'm going to show all the coins next week. We're going to do a whole series, and we're going to dive a little deeper into the numismatic, because Mark, who's going to be our guest next week, they have a beautiful collection and have collected some of the series, and they're going to be sharing some of their coins so you can see the detail. The other thing that's really cool about 7K, you can go to their corporate website, which is I'll write it in the chat actually, because you have to actually write out the name. 7K today, 7ktoday.com. And what that site shows you is it actually gives you the whole story and history. Every time they do a coin series, they give you a whole story and history behind the subject matter of the coin. So like when they did the Ben Franklin series, and now they're doing the George Washington series and the Roman series, and now they're doing the USS Arizona series, there's this beautiful little story that goes with it. And it's the story that's powerful. And what's cool about it, especially for those people who are homeschooling their kids, it's an excellent synopsis, an excellent Cole's notes, and real focused attention into the details of each subject, of each idea behind the coin. In other words, if it's George Washington, they're talking about George Washington. If it's Ben Franklin, they give the history of Ben Franklin. And it's really extraordinary, the detailings that they have covered. And it's really educational. It's really cool. I'm really having fun learning a lot of things I didn't know. It's a lot of fun, and meeting lots of cool people too. Edit, any other questions? I hope that helps answer, because yes, we do know there are a lot of people that we have coffee with Curtis every morning. Well, not every morning, 5 days a week, to answer more questions as an affiliate. We have probably 5 to 7 different opportunity Zooms that if you're sharing with people that you want to introduce the membership to, they can come. Of course, they can come here to our Gold Rush Mastermind here at Noble Goldman, but also people who are not with Noble Goldman. This is a public mastermind. And again, we can do some private ones as well. Okay. Oh, hand up. Yes.
Is there a time frame that's suitable for Australia?
Australia, yes, they do a lot of evening ones. A lot of Zoom evening ones. I think for you, it's 8 o'clock Eastern. So 5 o'clock my time, which is very suitable for Australians and New Zealanders. Yeah. I do this one in the morning to see if our Europeans can get on, so I can share with them. So I've done some private ones in the morning because of the Europeans, for our UK friends and our Ireland friends. Okay, and Singapore too, actually, because Singapore works for the evening ones. So that's our center for Asia, Singapore. Those are really good questions, by the way. Thank you. Does anybody have any other questions? Oh, I was going to share my screen, wasn't I? About where you can go. So once you have your link, let me just share this. I'm going to go to my share. I'm sure you don't want to see that one. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to log out of my 7K. So what happens is that you're going to get a link that looks like this, and it's not going to actually pop up. I'm going to do a different link. So what's going to happen is if we go here, let's go here. It's going to look like this. Can everybody see that? Okay, so the very first page is going to show you different. It'll also give you videos as well. And it just explains a little bit more and some of the options you have if you want to join. But if all people want to do is just buy, they can go straight up here where it says products. And you just click on products. Okay. Now I got to get my thing out of the way. Sorry, my pictures are in the way. I got to do that again. Let me go back because I wanted to show you. See how it says Canada here? Can everybody see the little Canada? If I click on it, do you see all the different countries that come up? Thumbs up. All good? Because everybody see that? Okay, yeah. So when you share your link, Okay, you want to express to them, make sure that you, because it might land on, like, see, whereas mine, it landed straight on Canada because it knows I'm in Canada. But you want to tell them to click on the flag in the top right hand corner like I did. Did everybody see where that was? It was all good? Okay, so because you'll notice that when you go to click on, like, okay, for example, if you go to click on United States, okay, and you go to click on products, all right, they're going to have, these are the numismatic coins, by the way. So I'm collecting, I just finished collecting the Benjamin Franklin series, and now I'm collecting George Washington. But you'll notice when you go down here, they've got all kinds of different types of coins. Okay. Now this is the 7K selected cart, and they also have the jewelry. Okay. Not the best jewelry, but some people like it, and that's great. You know, everybody has good, different tastes. So you'll notice they have a lot more choices in the US. Okay. So you can choose even the sovereign coins here as well, which is really important. But you'll notice they have different categories as well. 7K selected, jewelry, dealer direct, 7K. So just anybody visiting your site can go in there and buy directly. So I hope that helps. Okay, but the most important thing is you have to click on the flag. So if I go to Canada, and I go to shop products, okay, you'll notice that you're not muted, Kasha. You'll notice that we don't have the jewelry. Can everybody see that? Okay. We also have different coins. Oh, look at that. We got Australian kangaroos coming in. Awesome. Oh, the British ones are back. Oh, I may have to go buy some British coins. So I have a whole collection of different ones. So that's kind of gives you an idea of what you can do. Okay. Does that help? Does that help everybody? It's pretty cool, actually. It's really cool. Awesome. Kim, I hope you like that. I'll get you tagged into, I'll send you a friend request for the Facebook, and I'll tag you under the video, so that will help it clear up a lot for you. And of course, you can always reach out to me anytime and ask a question. That's awesome. Edit, any other questions?
I actually have a question. I just happened to see these, the prices of these coins. So is that, what does that mean? Is that how much we have to pay for them to get them into our house, or what is?
Well, you as a
fractional.
Yeah, so you're having what they call dealer direct prices, being a member. Okay, these are for people that are buying off of your website. Okay, so they're very competitive to anything down the store. I have a store, a gold and silver store down the road, and my gold and silver store is very comparable, but only if you buy in big quantities. Okay, and in 7K, we don't have to buy in big quantities. It's a set price of the lowest price. So a lot of people don't know that if you look on different websites, they'll show you the lowest price, but that's if you have to buy like at 1,000 at a time or 10,000 at a time. They're actually not showing you what happens if you want to buy 1 or 2 kind of thing, right? The price varies at a retail store versus buying direct with 7K. So our prices are always changing in the Sound Money wallet.
What I saw there for, I don't know what it was, what $700 US, is that what it is for that one coin?
Well, it's probably gold.
I don't know what it was. It was just, as you were scrolling through, I saw, I don't know.
You're talking about the numismatic coins?
Yeah.
Yeah, the numismatic coins, that was 5 ounces. And it was in the collection series. That's not, those are, numismatics are very, very different from bullion, rounds, and sovereign coins.
No, this was something for 1 ounce. 5 ounces.
It could have been platinum if it was.
I don't know. Okay. So anyways, we'll get it.
We can look at it. If it was it in like a case or just a picture of a coin? You want to go back and look? I can go back and look.
I don't know. You went through it very fast, so I just happened to catch.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Here. Are you talking about this? That's 5 ounces.
I think it was gold, not silver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Half ounce of, there's a half ounce Australian gold. There's a 1/4 ounce. right? This is a tube, so there's like 25 of them, silver in the tube.
Okay, so is that, so can you go back to that, the tube one? So that one,
The
is
tube
that
here.
each piece that $705?
No,
or the
there's
entire-
there's 25 of these in the tube. So they're like
Okay, so-
$28 each times 25,
Oh, $28, okay.
right? So this tube, these are Australians, okay? They're sovereign coin.
Mhm.
So you could buy one, or you can click on how many you want. You can click, you can take as many as you want.
Mhm. And the
Right.
buffalo one, American buffalo, is that one piece for 2,000 US dollars?
Yep, 1966. That's the 1 ounce coin. Sovereign, like the gold coin.
Okay, so this is for the retail. So this, for instance, Hyacinth's prospect, if they want to buy that, that's the price they would pay
Yes.
on her website. I see.
Yep. Yep. And it'll get mailed directly to them. So when we open up new countries, okay, this is very important to know. Unlike opening up like a health and wellness company or anything like that, the only thing that is there's only two things that are of a main concern for opening up a country. One is the taxes. Okay, so the VAT taxes, the reason why there's no jewelry or anything like that in a lot of countries is because the taxes are too high. Okay, and then second most important one is security. Like we have a lot of Spanish people, a lot of Mexicans that love to collect gold and silver, but the security is just not good enough for them to receive the gold and silver in Mexico. So until we can find a secure way of delivering, right? That's the only way that the countries get open. But really, those are really only the two hurdles compared to a lot of the other hurdles that people have to go through when it comes to different companies, like, health and wellness products, where you got to go through every little ingredient and every little thing. Well, gold and silver is recognized around the world. So it's really all about, are the taxes reasonable? And is there a secure enough delivery system? Right. So right now, we personally have FedEx. My coins arrive within 48 hours. It's amazing. The delivery system is unbelievable. It really is. So it's, I'm just thrilled to be able to have access to my gold and silver. And like I said, I could easily just go down the street and get it. Not a problem. Like I said, the prices are pretty comparable depending on how much they secured it. But most of the time, my 7K beats them every time, and I don't have to leave my house to go get it. And I get to buy it straight from my wallet on my 7K membership, which is awesome because I funded it with crypto. So it was a great way to be able to exchange my digital assets, was to go buy some gold and silver. So I was very excited about that. So lots of different options for us, which is really cool. So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Does anybody else have any other questions at all? I'm just so thrilled that you guys got to join me today. Thank you for coming today, because I know it's a pretty special day, and I appreciate you taking the time to come hang out with me and learn a little bit about gold and silver. And as we go on this journey together to extend our wealth portfolio, instead of just hedging, we can start actually accumulating and collecting, which is really exciting. So have a very, very beautiful Christmas Eve day and a beautiful Christmas day and holiday season. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Don't
Yes, go ahead, Jen. Yeah.
You answered the one question, which is about accumulating gold for more gold and silver for more than just hedging. Does the book or collection of books state just that much more as you go and collect, learn of how to start putting together a portfolio, especially if you're just absolutely baby knowing nothing about it yet?
Yes, great
Okay.
question. Yes, that's the thing that I love about the education in the 7K. So once you go through the buyer certification, you'll start to understand, why we buy certain types of silver and gold for whatever category you're in as an investor. And then the second one is the collector's certification, where I learned all about the different grading levels, and I learned about the styles, and I learned where we are in the world of collection, because it really was a closed, very tight, close-knit community when it came to collecting.
Yes.
And people, we were never taught any of this. We were never
Yeah.
taught to do any of this.
Where
And
was
yet,
it?
go ahead.
Where was
Sorry?
it? Nowhere.
Nowhere. And this should have been like part of our regular education about economics, right? And
Yeah.
and it's really surprising. Well, it's not surprising really when you start to really know, but you have to ask yourself, why is it only the rich, only the banks, and only the governments that know so much about gold and silver, and we have known nothing?
Yes.
Right? And the other thing I didn't know is, which is really surprising, because I'm actually a bit of a collector, as I'd mentioned. I used to collect pottery, and I used to see the old coins and stuff like that at some of the auctions I used to go to in the States. But I didn't know enough about it to really understand what I was buying, which is also a very dangerous thing. A little knowledge is very dangerous. So when it comes to collecting, so that's a great question, Jan. And that's what's really cool about hanging out in 7K, is you start to learn about collecting. And Miles, I'm just going to mention this too, which I didn't mention earlier, is Miles Standish, who is one of the designers. He's one of the top renowned, world renowned, I should say, designers in the collections world, but he's also probably the #1 grader in the world for coins. He's been grading for 40 years with our partners NGC, which is really kind of interesting at it. NG. NGC,
Right.
one of our partners.
Winky dinky.
Right? We got gold for Noble Goldman. We got the vault. We got Noble Goldman in the vault, and we got the vault here, and we got NG, and we got NG here. I'm thinking I'm right in line here. So,
and we got NGC, Noble Goldman Community.
exactly. That's it. Exactly. So
it's a perfect match.
It is a match. It's a perfect match. And I'm just learning. I'll be honest, Jen, I'm just learning now a little bit about collecting. I had no idea, but they truly are an incredible work of art. They just are so exquisite. And I'm going to share, Mark is going to come on next week, and we're going to share with you some of the collection with you. And of course, they're in the videos with the 7K today. You can see the storylines. You can see how the different, what they call high raises. They've gone to 3 levels. Now we're going to go to 7. Wow. In the coin. So it's not flat. Like, it's like, this is fairly flat. I know there's some, but this is nothing. Like, you should see the depth. It's so like, oh, it's incredible. They're just so beautiful. They really, truly are a work of art. And, but yeah, only the rich, so-called rich, were in the collection series. And so now I know why, because this is how the wealth accumulate wealth, because it's called long-term legacy. And that's what you're doing, is you're looking into the future is what you're doing. I hope that helps.
Ever so. Thank you.
Can everybody hear the puppy scratching underneath? Oh, okay, good. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. And I hope you can come next week, because Mark does an excellent job explaining, and he has a beautiful collection, he and Danielle, and they're just thrilled with their collection. I think their collection has already gone up, in total, 25%. So it really is amazing. We have, like I said, we had no idea, but it sure is fun doing it now. So, and I'm looking forward to linking arms and linking hearts with you on this fun adventure into the world of gold and silver as we stretch our wealth portfolio. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays.
You too. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, everyone. That for now.
Thank you. Okay. Edit, would you like me to answer about your placements? You're muted. Okay. You're good. You're muted though. Oh. Okay, so are you looking, so what part of the placement are you looking to do? And what's your goal? Oh,